In February of 2003, investigators opened a vault in the diamond capital of the world. What they found inside made absolutely no sense. Dozens of safety deposit boxes had been forced open. Millions of dollars in diamonds gone. But that wasn't even the strangest part. The vault itself showed no signs of a break-in. No alarms had been triggered. No doors had been forced open. Nothing appeared to be damaged. Because this wasn't just any vault. This was the Antwerp Diamond Center vault, one of the most secure vaults on the face of the earth. It was protected by 10 separate layers of security, including motion detectors, magnetic locks, seismic sensors, heat sensors, and a vault door designed to withstand hours of drilling. On paper, it was considered an impossible job, and yet, over the course of a single weekend, it seems that someone had done exactly that. More than $100 million in diamonds, gold, and precious stones had completely vanished. And at the center of it all was a quiet, unassuming Italian man who had spent months pretending to be a legitimate diamond dealer, while secretly planning one of the most sophisticated robberies in modern history. This is the story of the Antwerp Diamond Heist. To understand how this heist happened, you first have to understand the city of Antwerp. Going back centuries, this Belgian city has been the center of the global diamond trade. Even today, roughly 80% of the world's rough diamonds pass through Antwerp at some point in their journey. Every day, traders from around the world meet in small offices and secure exchanges to buy and sell stones worth millions. But nearly all of that activity is concentrated in the space of just a few city blocks, an area known simply as the Antwerp Diamond District. Inside this district, security is extreme. Police patrol the streets, cameras monitor every entrance, and heavily reinforced buildings protect the diamonds stored inside. But the most valuable diamonds weren't kept in offices. They were stored underground. Inside a vault beneath the Antwerp Diamond Center, hundreds of diamond dealers rented safety deposit boxes there to store their most valuable stones. Billions of dollars in diamonds sat behind that vault door at any given time, which meant anyone who could find a way to successfully break into that vault would walk away with one of the single largest paydays in recorded human history. The person who eventually attempted this impossible task was a man named Leonardo Notarbartolo. He started to weave himself into the scenery by posing as a diamond trader working in Antwerp. He rented an office in the Diamond District, registered a small trading company, and spent months quietly blending in with the local business community. But investigators would later discover that the business was indeed a front. Notarbartolo never had any intention of selling diamonds. Instead, he was gathering information to formulate his master plan to eventually steal them. For months, he studied the building's security. He observed guard routines. He memorized the layout of hallways and entry points. He watched how employees accessed the vault. And slowly, piece by piece, his plan began falling into place. But Notarbartolo didn't plan to rob the vault alone. He assembled a small crew of professional thieves from Italy, a group investigators would later link to what became known as the School of Turin. There were 5 core members involved in the operation. Each one brought a different skill set. One specialized in surveillance and security systems. Another had experience with high-security locks. One focused on logistics, moving equipment, coordinating timing, and managing the physical demands of the job. And one member, known only by the nickname The Genius, was believed to be responsible for helping the team understand and bypass the vault's layered security. Another, referred to as the King of Keys, was linked to the tools and techniques used to access the safety deposit boxes. At the center of the operation was Notarbartolo himself, the insider, the man who had spent months quietly studying the Antwerp Diamond Center, learning its routines, mapping its security, and preparing for the moment when the team would attempt something most security experts believed was impossible: breaking into one of the most secure vaults in Europe without triggering a single alarm. The Antwerp Diamond Center vault wasn't protected by just one security system. It had layers, 10 of them. According to later reconstructions, those layers included a combination lock, a keyed lock, a built-in seismic sensor, a steel grate, a magnetic sensor, cameras, a keypad for disarming sensors, a light sensor, and a heat motion sensor. On paper, the vault was considered impossible to break into, but Notarbartolo's team didn't try to force their way through the vault. They spent months learning how the systems worked, then began defeating them one by one. A thermal motion sensor was reportedly neutralized during advanced preparation. Inside the vault, the team used a polystyrene shield to block the heat motion detector and covered the light sensor so they could work without setting off the system. The magnetic alarm was bypassed using a custom aluminum plate that maintained the magnetic field while the vault door was opened. With each layer neutralized, the crew slowly gained access to the heart of the vault. Inside were rows of safety deposit boxes belonging to diamond traders from around the world. More than 100 of them. Working through the night, they forced open box after box. Diamonds, gold, precious jewels, millions of dollars in stones were stuffed into bags. By the time they were finished, the thieves had collected more than $100 million in valuables, and then they disappeared into the night. At first, it appeared the thieves had committed the perfect crime. The vault had been breached without triggering alarms. The diamonds were gone, and there were no immediate suspects. But the investigation took a surprising turn just days later. In a forest outside Antwerp, investigators discovered something strange: a bag of discarded materials, hastily dumped and partially burned. Inside were items tied directly to the heist: tape, packaging materials, and fragments of documents that hadn't been fully destroyed. Among them, a receipt that led investigators straight to Leonardo Notarbartolo. Within days, the man behind one of the most sophisticated robberies in modern history had been identified. The evidence connected him directly to the robbery. Notarbartolo was eventually arrested and convicted for his role in the crime. But the story doesn't end there, because while investigators solved the case, most of the stolen diamonds were never recovered. Today, the Antwerp Diamond Heist is remembered as one of the most sophisticated robberies in modern history. A crime planned for months, executed over a single weekend, and undone by one careless mistake. To this day, millions of dollars in diamonds remain missing, which raises an interesting question. For a crime that was so meticulously planned and executed, why was that bag of evidence so carelessly left where investigators could find it? Truth really is stranger than fiction, and these are the stories that prove it. We've got a lot more of these to dig into. If you enjoyed this content, subscribe to our channel and get notified whenever we drop new videos. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.